Conference 3.0 on the topic, the role of universities in fostering entrepreneurship among students. We are delighted to have you all join us once again as we continue our exploration of this fascinating topic.
Indeed, it's wonderful to see familiar faces and new participants joining us today. We hope you had a restful day and are ready to dive into another session filled with valuable insights and discussions.
Exactly, rightly said, Anjali. Today again, we are yet ready to have an exceptional lineup of speakers who bring us a wealth of knowledge and practical insights to the table. So without further delay, let's introduce our esteemed speakers and panelists for today's session.
Our first speaker is Ms. Maria Zoe Sommer. She's a seasoned entrepreneur, educator, and innovation advocate with a wealth of experience in fostering entrepreneurship and driving business growth. With an MIT certification in New Ventures Leadership Education, Ms. Maria is deeply committed to instilling entrepreneurial mindsets and skills in both students and professionals. Her extensive background includes founding and managing tech startups, coaching and mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs, and teaching undergraduate and graduate courses in innovation and entrepreneurship. Maria's expertise spans various domains, including business development, strategic partnerships, marketing strategies, and team management. Recognized for her outstanding contributions to entrepreneurship education, she was honored as Entrepreneurship Educator of the Year in 2023.
Excuse me. Our next speaker is none other than Mr. Nigel J. Ahmed, who has 40 plus years of experience in advising startups, venture capitalists, and diverse organizations globally. As a seasoned FCMA accountant and master NLP practitioner, he mentors executives, winning the 2023 West Midlands Finance Team of the Year award. Mr. Nigel's expertise spans finance, healthcare, transportation, and entertainment, with hands-on experience rescuing financially distressed entities and establishing sustainable operations. Notably, he managed a successful PE of a catering business and held pivotal roles in prominent organizations such as Barclays Bank, Virgin Trains, and Cancer Research. Nigel's strategic insights and leadership have shaped numerous organizations, making him a respected figure in the business field.
Our next guest is Mr. Zabi Zakilisio, a seasoned C-suite manager and certified management consultant with a proven track record across diverse industry sectors, including technologies, aviation, engineering service, wholesale retail, digital transformation, and business services. Currently serving as the managing director of Trucent Business Management, he specializes in market entry and startup development in Philippines, boasting over 75 successful launch projects. With extensive experience globally and locally, he has empowered numerous institutions, organizations, and industries to achieve positive market entry and rapid development.
Next up, we have none other than Ms. Delia Chirikesi. She brings a wealth of expertise to this table with a computer science degree and close to 2 decades of multifaceted experience in software development, research, business support analysis, and consultancy across both local and global organizations. Since 2009, she has transitioned her career towards business management, primarily within the semiconductor domain. Throughout her journey, she has remained committed to supporting academic programs, ensuring that upcoming professionals are equipped with the skills and knowledge needed for careers that meet market demands. As a senior consultant at Dynamic Information Systems in Romania, Ms. Delia continues to drive innovation and excellence in her.
Our next speaker is Dr. Ratan Kumar, an esteemed assistant professor specializing in marketing at the Jagdish State School of Management, where he also serves as the chairperson of the MBA program. Renowned for his expertise, Dr. Kumar conducts workshops on personal branding and social media usage and sales for both academics and professionals. His research contributions have been featured in essential journals like the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, and he has showcased his insights at prestigious conferences including the American Marketing Association Conference. Before transitioning to academia, Dr. Kumar accumulated 8 years of invaluable industry experience in marketing and sales roles within the pharmaceutical and tourism sectors. He's also the author of the case study Air France, the Load Factor Puzzle in Business Class, available on platforms like Ivy and Harvard Cases. Dr. Kumar's research and teaching interests span personal branding, sales and distribution management, social media selling, and B2B marketing.
Our final speaker for today is Dr. Mohsin Sheikh, who with 24 plus years of rich teaching experience at various esteemed management institutes, is a recognized authority in his field. He boasts a prolific publication record in reputable journals and has presented numerous papers at national and international conferences. As a respected research guide of the University of Pune, Dr. Sheikh has mentored numerous students, with 10 completing their PhD and 2 of them have completed their MPhil under his guidance. He is well versed in the case method of teaching, having been trained by the Harvard Business School USA, and holds certification as a CSR professional from ICSI and NSDC both. Dr. Sheikh's area of expertise include HRM, strategy, and entrepreneurship, and he has authored books on industrial psychology, organizational behavior, and business research methods. We are grateful for all of your presence and eagerly anticipate your valuable insights and contributions to today's conference speakers. I would also like to inform all of you that the HR team is conducting calls in the chat box throughout the session, and we do encourage active participation from the attendees. I would like to invite Ms. Maria Nawab to share her perspectives and enlighten us with her insights.
Ms. Maya, we're unable to hear you.
Can you please unmute yourself?
She is unmuted. I believe there's some issues from her end.
You can just check your audio once, Maya. Yeah, Anjali ji, I suggest you can move with the next speaker. Till then, Ms. Maria will also have time to check out her audio. Sure.
All right. I'd request Mr. Nigel to commence his speech.
I'm going to check. You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank SK Associates and Group, particularly Srivan and Anjali, for all the hard work that's gone into organising this conference. And I'm sure that everybody's going to go away having learned a lot of useful information. First of all, if I start with my background, where my actual entrepreneurial journey started. At the age of 27, which is a long time ago now, I embarked on a remarkable venture that shaped the course of my career. An industry luminary beckoned me to become part of the executive board and establish a UK subsidiary startup of a large Spanish conglomerate. From the beginning, I collaborated with the lawyers and financial institutions, fashioning that entity from the ground up. And obviously, in a situation like that, you learn a lot from what it is like to actually set a startup up. The tenacity and innovation were the bedrock of our endeavours, prevailing us to be innovative. One of the things that we did that no other UK company had done before was in a groundmaking move. We became the inaugural sponsor of a prestigious football match, which was Manchester City v Arsenal at the time, and that propelled our brand and advertised the organisation, and that had never been done before. Since then, I've had the privilege to lend my counsel and expertise to visionary CEOs, founders and boards of many startups over the years. I was also entrusted with the task of rescuing Amnesty International, who were about to collapse, and I was appointed their board advisor. I'm pleased to say that the outcome was positive and that Amnesty International continued to trade. There's an interesting fact for the UK that I think to me resonates, and hopefully it will with you, is that in 2022, the number of student entrepreneurs actually grew nearly 400%. That is a phenomenal figure. And I'm sure there's similar statistics which I don't have to hand for India and other countries and other people who are speakers on this conference today. No one should underestimate the amount of hard work and resilience that's required to set up a startup from scratch and make it a success. For me, the three key success factors are a strong product or service, a well-researched go-to-market strategy, and a strong organizational success. There's a word of warning though, and that's don't allow yourself to get stressed. So for budding entrepreneurs, I'd say don't get stressed whilst building your dream because you're so focused on the outcome. My personal advice is you must take regular breaks, vacations, and set boundaries between work and personal time with the family. That's so important. Today, we live in a rapidly changing world where traditional career paths are no longer guaranteed. The rise of technology, globalization, and more importantly, automation, AI, has disrupted industries and created new opportunities. Universities must recognize this. By providing the right resources, guidance, and opportunities, and empowering students to think differently, take risks, and pursue their entrepreneurial dreams, universities can shape the future of our society and contribute to the growth of our individual economies. Allow me to introduce you to the 5 key principles that universities should impart, ensuring that our students become formidable forces in the business world of the future. Firstly, creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem. There is a unique opportunity to create an entrepreneurial ecosystem that encourages students to think outside the box and pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. It includes mentorship programs, incubators, and accelerators that provide students with the necessary support and guidance to turn their ideas into viable businesses. By fostering collaboration and networking, universities can connect students with industry experts, investors, and fellow entrepreneurs, creating a vibrant entrepreneurial community. Secondly, providing entrepreneurship education, a key role that equips students with the knowledge and skills needed to succeed in the business world today. It goes beyond traditional business courses and includes courses on innovation, creativity, problem solving, and risk-taking. It is through entrepreneurship that groundbreaking ideas are transformed into reality and develop solutions to real-world problems. It must be integrated into the curriculum to instill an entrepreneurial mindset in students, teaching them to identify opportunities, take calculated risks, and adapt to changing market dynamics. Teach the step-by-step process to translate those ideas into effective plans, growing a business, building a winning team, and leave the competition behind. Thirdly, access to resources, which is so important. It's crucial for aspiring entrepreneurs, and universities can play a pivotal role. It includes access to research facilities, funding opportunities, and industry partnerships. And universities play a key role as regards partnerships. They often are able to reach into the community and into industry and link up those partnership opportunities with entrepreneurs.
ये क्यों आ गया है?
By leveraging their networks and connections, universities can help students access the capital, technology, and expertise needed to launch and grow their enterprise. Universities can facilitate collaboration between students from different disciplines. Fourthly, experiential learning and entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurship is a hands-on endeavor, and we should provide students with experiential learning opportunities to develop their entrepreneurial skills. It should include internships at startups, participation in business plan competitions, and involvement in real-world entrepreneurial projects. By immersing students in real-world entrepreneurial experiences, universities can then bridge the gap between theory and practice. It allows students to apply their knowledge and learn from both successes and failures. Teaching financial literacy. Financial acumen forms the bedrock of a thriving business, and we should never forget that, how important that is. Equipping them with the knowledge to navigate fiscal landscapes, optimize profitability, and make informed decisions. Besides learning and understanding the difference between profit and cash, which is essential for any entrepreneur to build a sustainable business. The reason I say that is I've been on many boards of many companies, both startups and large corporate businesses. And it never fails to amaze me how I come across individual board members who still, after many years supposedly being in business, do not understand the difference between the word profit and cash. And it's surprising how many of those individuals I find myself having to educate them. And it's such a fundamental basic of any business. And I can't stress how important it is. So if you don't know the answer to that, I would say any budding entrepreneur, Google it, find out. If you still don't understand it, then approach somebody in business and ask somebody in business to explain to you. Because they'll explain to you the importance, they'll explain to you why their business has survived for many years and gone on to grow. By promoting an entrepreneurial mindset, universities can empower students to think critically and solve complex problems. And finally, my fifth point is creating job creators, which I think was mentioned yesterday, and not job seekers. Traditionally, universities have focused on preparing students for the job market. However, in today's dynamic economy, there is a growing need for job creators rather than job seekers. By encouraging entrepreneurship, universities can empower students to create their own opportunities and thereby become job creators. This not only benefits the individual students, but also contributes to economic growth, job creation, and societal development. In conclusion, universities play a crucial role in fostering entrepreneurship among students and empowering those students to become successful entrepreneurs, which is one available solution to create more jobs for those countries with huge populations, with millions of people entering the workforce each year, as I know is the case in India, for example. Together we can unleash the full potential of our students and create a generation of innovative and impactful student entrepreneurs. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Nigel. That was a wonderful speech. I request you to please share your email address in the chat box. And if any audience has any questions or seeks further information, please don't hesitate to reach out to him. I request Ms. Maria to commence her speech if the issue has been fixed.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, yes. Good. Okay. Should I just go on?
Yes, you can.
Let's start it. Yes. Okay, thank you. Oh my God. Now I won't share my screen. This is going really great. It won't let me share anything. I actually have a presentation, so can you continue with the next speaker? Then this is really frustrating because I really want to show a presentation.
All right, no issues. I request Mr. Zabizaki to commence his speech.
All right. Hi. Good evening. Can you hear me? Loud and clear. All right. So Well, thank you so much again for inviting me to be part of this gathering. Good morning or good evening for some. So, fellow speakers and guests, it's a pleasure to be part of this gathering. My name is Zab, and I represent a small business firm in the Philippines named Trusen. So, we are a business management consulting firm in the Philippines, which currently specialize in the market entry and startup development. So, we provide support, a bridge to outside going to Philippines, but domestic also entering the market of specific industry. So overall, our goal is to be the bridge, a bridge between all industries and simplifying growth and development. And for us, we know that this journey is not an easy task. So we definitely know that. That's why we partner with and collaborate with various institutions, organizations, universities, not only here in the Philippines but outside as well. So, which as you may know, my country, Philippines, is the land of opportunity, right? And not only for locals, but for the foreign investors as well. So with the new generation's mentality, which is a little bit more aggressive, the new generation is much more social media, uses the technology, everything else digital-wise. The attitude is much more aggressive and risk-taker. Here comes the role for their universities to fostering the right mindset for the students to start with. So, over the past quarters of the decade, the landscape for entrepreneurship has undergone a remarkable journey of evolution and transformation. So, if you take a closer look in terms of the accessibility, the challenges, and the effectiveness, link on this embarkable journey to create that significant impact really unveils a noteworthy transformation for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, even such as myself, especially for the universities and their students, as they are like the gatekeepers, the ones who create their foundation. So basically, what they learn in the universities is something that they carry on for the next few decades of their lives. So in this era of a lot of constant change, universities for me have emerged as a beacon of innovation, ceaselessly revising and enhancing the curriculum to align with the ever evolving needs. Because with the trends right now, it's a lot much more faster. One thing can be learned by one thing. It's a matter of click. So a lot of people, a lot of students are easily inspired. At the same time, the downside about it is that a lot of students, young generations right now, are also easily demotivated in terms of what are they needed to be or what they wanted to get done in the next future. So the commitment to providing an environment conducive to have that entrepreneurial pursuit is visible in the dedication of that and adaptability for the universities as well for a continuous improvement. So the role of the university in shaping that entrepreneurial spirit among students transcend in a singular approach for me. So in the institution, it's guided by a lot of different values, mission, vision, and it contributes to the entrepreneurial ecosystem in a lot of distinct ways. And meaning to say, everything else adapt. Now universities adapt like since the trend, for example, that I'm not sure you're familiar with it, like there's a lot of esports gamer. A lot of universities now offer a bachelor degree for esports gaming online. They adapt into that kind of manner because they think that would provide that kind of entrepreneurial mindset moving forward for the students. A lot of different courses, curriculums are being adjusted based on the current needs and demands and the trends that we are partaking in. So overall, some prioritize and foster flexibility, allowing the student to explore and innovate more freely. Others are actually, they adapt, they prepare students, development program where they try to nurture them. And that's the role that they will also, I think, is really good to uptake for them to do so. To navigate the dynamic challenges of the business world. And in a way, there are a lot of institutions that focuses on the nurturing growth, instilling students that the mindset and skills required to thrive in the entrepreneurial landscape is a little bit much more different in their kind of mentality that they needed to be trained or build that foundation from the start. So in simpler terms, universities they do more than just teach. They build in that foundation, and they also create an environment that sparks the new ideas and teamwork. And looking back the previous years, it's very clear that universities are not just a place for study, right? And it's like a lively center for students to help that upcoming entrepreneur mindset to succeed and make a positive impact within the society. And in a way, it builds a lot of character for the students to build it, to start it over. And that is one of the biggest role for the students in relation to how it can really start that entrepreneur mindset. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Zavizaki. That was a wonderful speech.
Pleasure.
Do we have any questions for him?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, I would request you to please share your email address in the chat box, and if any of our audience have any questions in future, we can get back to you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Miss Maria, are we good to go?
I really hope so.
You can just try once sharing the screen.
Data. Skærmen. Just go to the window. Okay, let me see. There's something with. Okay, now I have it. Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry about that.
Even if your tree isn't being displayed, you can just share a short speech with us, Mario. No issues. I hope that works. Audible, Mario?
Okay. Can I try again?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
You're seeing it now? You're seeing my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yay. Okay, so sorry about that. I usually use Zoom, so I wasn't aware that the settings were not all in place for this for Google Meet. So thank you so much for having me, and I'm so happy that I can actually show you my presentation as well, because it shows my path to where I am today. So you mentioned it in the beginning, but I work as a teacher in innovation and entrepreneurship at Coming Business Academy. I've done that since 2015. I have been an entrepreneur myself. I had an online supermarket back in 2005 to 2010, and I can assure you that was very difficult because supermarket has a really low margin, and we thought we had prepared. I actually had taken a class at CBS, Coming Business School in entrepreneurship, but we had done so little preparation, and I realized that later when I started teaching. So what was the problem? Yeah, so there is a crisis in entrepreneurship education, as just been mentioned several times, because the education is about academics. So I was taught entrepreneurship by reading books, but in that way I got the spirit, but I definitely didn't get the skills on what it actually takes to become an entrepreneur. And the books makes it sound easy, to some degree at least, but it's definitely not. It requires a lot of discipline. So how do we foster entrepreneurship among students? Well, for us, it's been very important that this with actually entrepreneurship, it's not about teaching entrepreneurship. It's about teaching students to become entrepreneurs. Just with it saying, the words are saying right here, if we just teach students entrepreneurship, it will last maybe a day, a week. But if we teach them how to become entrepreneurs, it can last a lifetime. That's why I was so happy when I stumbled across this book, this framework, when I started teaching, because one thing I knew was that I didn't want to teach the students to do all the mistakes I did when I was an entrepreneur. So I looked very hard for a way to find, because there are many great books out there about entrepreneurship, but nobody tells you what it takes to go from idea to launch. So with this discipline, entrepreneurship, 24 steps to successful startup, suddenly I could see there was a way to teach that. Because what we need is a framework for how we can evaluate the student when they actually do a startup in terms of their curriculum. Then their grading is not on how they are good at telling us what the academics say about entrepreneurship, but they are good at knowing what it takes to become an entrepreneur, and thus how to do a great market validation. So the framework is 24 steps going from idea to launch, and all these steps are divided into 6 themes. And what's really interesting here is that when you take the first theme, who is your customer, what the students cannot do is that they cannot talk about their idea or product until step 7. Until then, they can only figure out what problem or need is it that they're trying to solve. And that makes a huge difference in the teaching, because a lot of entrepreneurs are really in love with their idea. So it's hard for them to go out and validate, because they would be biased when they ask potential customers about what kind of problem or need they have. So in this way, the students, even though it's very annoying for them, it's really, really a hard, steep learning curve for them to come out and actually talking to consumers. And also another important part is that when we come to step 20, identifying key assumptions. If they haven't been out talking to potential customers, they haven't been out verifying the assumptions they're making in every single step. And that's actually the most important approaches that Bill Olet is stating, is that you need to get out there and you need to verify every single assumption you're making in each step. Sometimes it's not possible, but if you're ending up with 50 assumptions in step 20, you have an issue, because it's going to be really hard for you to be ready to launch. So when Bill Olet, he launched the textbook in 2013, and in 2017 he made this workbook, which is full of forms that the students need to fill out for each step. It makes the book very easy to use for entrepreneurs, both at educational institution, as well as entrepreneurs that are trying to start up by themselves. So Bill Olet, he's managing director of Martin Trust Center for MIT Entrepreneurship, and he has been a serial entrepreneur himself until he started teaching at MIT. So the book is a way that to structure all the questions he got from the students, questions that we got at our school as well, because they're not that different, where even though you're an entrepreneur in India or in Denmark. So he taught from these great books that are out there, but none of them are giving a thorough framework of how do you actually go from idea to launch? When do you know that you are ready? And this is how he then put this framework together, which we have implemented with great success at Coming Business Academy in the bachelor degree program, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, on the first semester. So what we do is that when the students start, they have 3 weeks with leadership, where we teach them everything that's important when you are a team, because quite often they don't really know what it is to be a good team member. So that's why we actually use 3 weeks for that, before we have a crash course in 24 steps for 4 weeks, where they need to learn the whole structure and frame. And then that part is ended with a multiple choice test. So we are sure that they actually have been studying the curriculum. Because when they start in part 2, which is the business understanding, they have a semester project which is an investment proposal where we do not teach them anymore in 24 steps. We then teach them with all the other aspects of being an entrepreneur that are important, such as team management, design thinking, project management, prototyping, economy, and law. The exam is the investment proposal, and they have an oral exam in the team together, and the grading is influenced by level of market validation and customer traction. And this is where it's really different from many entrepreneurship exams where you are just being tested whether you remember what the textbook said about entrepreneurship. So there are common challenges faced by educators when teaching market validation concepts, even though we're using this great framework. But what is the problem? Well, the problem is that successful entrepreneurs, they need the spirit of a pirate and skills of a Navy SEAL. But quite often, they miss the skills of a Navy SEAL. And even though we are telling our students to go out and test with the customers and do all the validation, we don't want all the assumptions, they tend to try and skip whenever it's possible. So what they actually need, besides the practice, they need some tactics. And luckily, MIT has done a lot of investigation in this as well. They have, because they obviously have a lot of teaching within this area. And so their executive director at the Martin Trust Center of Entrepreneurship, Paul Cheek, he has written this book, Startup Tactics, that will come out here in April, that we hope will help us in filling up this gap that we have right now in the teaching. So what it will do is that when we see here on the right part, it would help us just have one book that is structured in helping the student with the tactics that will help them going from idea to launch, and still using the workbook as our backup bone for what kind of problem or need they're trying to solve. But what about the common challenges faced by educators when teaching market validation concepts? So this sounds like just another book, and won't the student just do the same and skip whenever they can? Well, MIT has tried and solved that problem by making a virtual assistant where it has taken the workbook or the discipline entrepreneurship, put all the forms in the assistant, and then the assistant will actually fill out the forms in the discipline entrepreneurship book. So then they need to verify that part instead of starting from scratch. And this makes it much more interesting because then they actually have something that they're aiming for. They know much better what it is that they need to go out and actually validate. And it will make it much easier for them when they then have to do the tactics afterwards in order to figuring out how they go from idea to launch. So how would it exist in our ecosystem? So we have the foundation with the discipline entrepreneurship framework. We now will have, I would say it hasn't been launched yet, the startup tactics with the early execution. And then it would be much easier for us to take the students' projects to the incubator, to elective classes, and hopefully that they can then do internship in own company, which is the last part of our curriculum. So my final word is that a data-driven approach to primary market research will improve your future tests, and that goes for all entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maya. That was an insightful speech. Okay, I would request you to please share email address in the chat box, and if any of our audience has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to her. Now I would request Ms. Delia to commence her speech.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this panel, and thank you for organizing this event. I will try to share a presentation, but if it doesn't work, or if doesn't work easily, I will do it without the presentation. Just 1 minute. Okay. Is it okay? Do you see the screen?
Not yet.
No?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I will do it without the. Okay, so I try to have a more practical presentation about what happened here. I would not say much more words about my experience beyond your presentation from the beginning of the event. But what I can see that at least in the last 20 years, working in different companies, I have been involved in supporting academic program. That's why I try to say a few words about my experience and about one program which I consider quite relevant for this topic. So I started to think on this topic from the quote from Benjamin Franklin: "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." So definitely the practice is much more important than the knowledge. Which is the context? University in general prepares students exceptionally from a professional point of view. But the entrepreneurial spirit is more difficult to learn. Firstly, because practice is needed. I try to build an image of academic initiative in Romania to stimulate the entrepreneurial spirit of those who will become the specialists of tomorrow. Collaboration, diversity, hard work, and mentorship are some aspects that build business people. Why are these type of events more efficient than the traditional teaching methods? Maybe it's about competitive spirit or the feeling of impact, because they start with the idea that their product, their business will have an impact on the world. Working in a team is another aspect. They put together their experience, and in this direction, it's much more important to have diverse background. Another aspect is related to the preparation for a real business environment. We should also consider the financial advantages. Their idea can grow until it becomes a real business which can provide real financial advantages. And the stimulation of knowledge accumulation through experiential learning, teamwork, and innovative thinking. Which are the traditional methods the corporations support the university? So the idea was definitely that there should be three actors: the students, the university, and the business world. So what do the companies? In general, they provide donations. That means tool licenses, samplings, depending on their activity. They provide also teaching materials and support for the students. Summer school and internship program. More and more university understood the importance of having students working in a real business environment, and it makes them mandatory to have them participate in a summer school. There are also open days when students come to visit the corporations, and they can see how the people work, they can interact with them, can have questions. The companies can support diploma projects for bachelor or masters, or even for doctoral programs. They can involve the students also in professional communities. And of course, they can sponsor and mentor participants at conferences, at academic conferences, hackathons. I try to build an image about a few this type of events, hackathons and technical competitions in Romania. One of them, and I consider it as very relevant for this topic, it's Innovation Lab. This is a mentorship program for young people who want to make a difference through creative technologies. Participants have the chance to fine-tune their ideas and turn them into real working prototypes in a 7-month development period for diverse feedback sources. Another one is DevHacks, a 24-hour hackathon that focus on the intersection of technology and society. The Bucharest Hackathon, a dynamic weekend-long event that where programmers for Romania and the region gather to work on groundbreaking software projects and solve tomorrow coding challenges using the latest, most cutting-edge technologies available. Techsylvania is a leading technology event in Eastern Europe built to revitalize the local tech community through high-quality information delivered by worldwide experts in the ITC industry. So in general, it's a conference. There are different types of presentation with invite participants. Robo Challenge is a robotic competition aimed for students who are passionate about the practical part of the project. The competition consists in building autonomous robots capable of facing the other robots in the competition test. Days of Electronic students aim to create a close link between the profile companies in the country and the faculties. So I come back with the Innovation Lab. As I said, I would like to provide more details. So it was launched in 2013 within the Polytechnic University of Bucharest. So now there are 11 years of innovation labs. That means 61 successful teams worth 200 million euros, 3,700 participants, 520 mentors team. The program started small, only in the Polytechnic University, and was extended in 5 other cities. So there can be 3 types of participants based on their experience. There are teams made up exclusively of students, spin-off teams from university, research projects, and teams made up of students and experienced entrepreneurs. The teams, but I will come back presenting the program stages. So it started during one weekend, in general in March, with a hackathon. It starts with a pitching session where the team get to present their idea in front of the audience. After that, they will have 24 hours to build a minimum viable product and develop the business concept under the close guidance of entrepreneurs, tech specialists, and industrial leaders who will be their mentors. At the end of these 24 hours, the teams come again and present their proposal, and a limited number of teams will be selected. And from March to May, they will continue to work to develop their idea under the supervision of mentors. They will benefit from the presentation, direct mentorships. It is also a boost day, sometime of midterm exams, to review the progress of their project. And finally, it's a demo day in front of the jury, potential investors, partners, and mass media. This year, the event pursues 7 development directions. That means agriculture, blockchain, cybersecurity, dev tools, digital health, retail and e-commerce, lifestyle, smart city and industry 4.0, and sustainability. There is a list of alumni and also the list of the very successful teams who succeeded to build a real business worth around 1 million euros. So, but if the people are interested, they can have a look at their page. And we can say that Innovation Lab has entered into a long-term strategic partnership with the investment fund, Early Games Ventures. So now, this year, they will invest 500,000 euros in a startup from 2024 cohort with a winning team. So we concluded that through the implementation of entrepreneurship programs, hackathons, startup competition, and incubators, academic faculties can inspire students to explore their entrepreneurial potential, address real-world challenges, and contribute to social and economic landscape. Ultimately, these initiatives not only empower individuals to pursue their entrepreneurial endeavors, but also enhance the academic landscape, catalyzing positive change and innovation within faculties and beyond. Thank you.
That was a great speech, Delia. I appreciate it. And I would like to ask the attendees if anyone has got questions for any of our speakers till now. Any questions from the audience? You may just raise your hands and speak one by one. Okay. I think there are no questions. So for today's speech, Delia, I would like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box, so if any of our audience has questions they wish to connect with you, they can just do that without any hesitation. So, thank you. Further moving on, I would like to invite Dr. Ratan Kumar to commence his speech and share his insights.
Hi, just give me 30 seconds. Just.
Yeah, Anjali ji, I hope I'm clearly audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Till then, if any of our audience has any questions for any specific speakers, you may just drop your question in the chat box and mention out the name of the speaker you want your question to be answered.
Hi, am I audible? Hi, first of all, thank you to associates and the group for this organizing this, because this take a lot of time, resources, effort. So my kudos to you, Sarvan, and to Anjali, that since last 2 months you are putting a lot of hard work behind that. So I can understand, because I was part of few conferences, being the organizing committee, so I know how much hard work we need to put. So first of all, and thank you all the speakers for coming. I My name is Ratan. I am just let me share my screen. That is, I'm just sharing my PPT. Maybe that will help.
Kolipokatari.
Okay, is that visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and the slides are moving. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the confirmation, Anjali. Okay, my name is Ratan. I am faculty and the chairperson for the MBA program at JAGSHOM. And one of the things I could connect to this conference is that I am also in charge of one of our program, which is we call the STEM program, basically, which is for the entrepreneurship, whether the grassroots level, who do not have high education, who are just maybe at the 10th level, which in India we say, you can say the basic education, we can say, and but they want to do entrepreneurship, some business, but they are not well versed with the management concepts or their own personal management. So that program focus on that. I am handling that program, so I could connect a lot of things with this thing. I take workshop on personal branding, social media selling, and this is some of the research things. So quickly, I will move on to. I'm looking forward for more learning opportunity. So a very powerful statement I always relate, if the management people know, that one of the top management guru is the Peter Drucker, who said that entrepreneur is someone who always search for the change, respond to it, and exploit it as an opportunity. So something I could connect, something I always relate to the participant of our program, who are in, who look into the change, that what is happening in the society, in the technology, and quickly respond to that with the some solution, so that society will accept that as a product or service. So while I was going through this entire thing, and then I could find out some of the research which shall help to connect all of us, that there is the one of the scenario which the pitch book, which is one of the gives the ranking to the worldwide universities and the institutes, and this ranking is regarding the entrepreneurship, that how many founders are there in the world's top universities. And then they have the region wise segregation as well, the North America, Europe, Australia, then South Asia, all that kind of. So this is at the global level. They found that okay, the Stanford ranks the top among the Harvard and the other universities. And coming to the and this is by the way for the undergraduate program. Uh, and in the Middle East region, it is mainly by the from Israel institutes from Israel and institutes from India, which are predominantly IITs. IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, Kharagpur, IIT Madras, which is called IIT Chennai. So, there must be something in these institutes which creates that environment, which foster that entrepreneurship among the students. That continuously, that lot of founders are coming out of these universities or these institutes. Now, coming to the another the course MBA, all the people who are the founders and who did MBA from the world the top worldwide institutes like Harvard, Stanford, University of Peninsula, INSEAD, that is they rank high, these institutes with so much high capital raised by in billions of dollars, that capital is raised by these companies. And again, in the Middle East, it is again predominantly by the Israel, and then some Indian Institute, Indian School of Business. Then I am Calcutta, I am Bangalore, and then we have also the Chinese Europe International Business School. So there is a different separation to that. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that institutes or the universities plays extremely important role in fostering the entrepreneurship, and these slides and these rankings prove that point, that okay, that so much is done at these universities. Some environment is created which prove as a or which help these young entrepreneurs to think, to do, to facilitate, so that they can create the unicorns, new age unicorns. This is a one case study I have taken from my own experience. This is a program I am handling that we can call it the STEM program, skill enhancement for the grassroots level entrepreneurs. Okay, and if you quickly see that there are three areas, this is kind of the curriculum which we are focused on, and this is based on my own experience and based on a lot of research. We came to know that okay, these grassroots level entrepreneurs, they do not have you can say graduate level or the postgraduate level education, so they are not very technology savvy, but they have very strong urge, very strong zeal for the entrepreneurship. Now, as a university, when we are devising such program and we want to facilitate these grassroots level entrepreneurs, so we could find out from our research that there are few areas which needs development, and so that's why this program focus mainly on these few areas. So we are not focused. We are so that the overall the essence of the program is not diluted. So this is just an example. Like one is the personality focus. The second is which is a day-to-day thing that any entrepreneur, the personality is a key thing for them. That how they are handling with the investors, how they are dealing with them, are they understanding them in the right way, are they communicating in that way. So these are the basic hygiene, basic etiquette things. Then the second comes the business acumen, the business knowledge, a basic knowledge of like marketing, finance, raising money, venture capitalists, startup industry, or you can say how to raise a pitch, or the particular what are the essence of a particular pitch, so that it quickly get clicked to the investor or the venture capitalist. And then for the long term, around 3 to 4 months, there is a mentorship that they launch their startup or their venture, and we remotely focus on that. So this is one kind of a sense, given a sense based on our. So that's why I could relate to that, and I thought that I should share that something which entrepreneurs entrepreneurs need and something the educational institute can provide in a simple and focused way. Now, coming to the few more things which I want to highlight during my presentation is very quickly that what is the university's ecosystem? So, which is facilitating this entire entrepreneurship journey, how they are empowering the students, and ultimately what more need to be done so that entrepreneurial mindset is created in the entire scenario. Now, our first one, okay, like in terms of university ecosystem, the first and the foremost thing which is the people's contribution. Now, universities, okay, here I just want to make a point that how universities are contributing in that entire ecosystem of entrepreneurship. The one way is they are providing the people's their own peoples, their faculty, their staff. They are providing the mentorship. They provide the resources. They provide the network opportunities. So that is the one of the key contribution in terms of that. Then the second comes the infrastructure support. So a lot of institutions have incubation centers. They have access to technology, and that's why this is one reason that when we talk about that a slide which talk about the which are the top universities which provide the entrepreneurship or where the entrepreneur has emerged. So technology universities like IITs emerged at the top because nowadays it is that tech startups are more in that. Then came the funding assistance. They connect with the venture capitalists. A lot of institutions provide that's seed capital kind of thing. Then another different kind of competitions are there, funding rounds are there, which facilitate that. Then there is the faculty involvement, like curriculum integration. Like I just give my own example that I am part of that program. Then industry experience, research collaboration, which all help to develop this ecosystem. Then comes the different kind of clubs and committees. There are a lot of institutions, especially in the MBAs. They have their entrepreneurship clubs. They provide a lot of workshop. Then they do kind of matching between who could be the mentor of the startup. So they connect that they have a lot of industry connect who are at the top management in top MNCs or who has a lot of experience in that particular domain in which the startup that is building. So they help in that matchmaking that what is the requirement of the startup and what is the skill and knowledge that that person or that manager can provide. There is a connect between the two, and these centers or these universities facilitate that. So these are the kind of so these overall with these things, these universities, these institutes help or build these ecosystem for the entrepreneurship. Then another thing is what are the how they are delivering in that part. One is the skill development. They focus on developing the leadership skill, problems because these are a key for not just for entrepreneurs, anyone who want to do any business. So skill development is a key area which need to be focused upon. Then the access to resources like seed funding, legal and financial guidance, market research, all that kind of thing.
Yes.
Then comes the
I
partnership. How to build the partnership with the different startup, with the corporate, and they also engage with the alumni. The old institute has a very strong alumni base. So for example, any current student want to build a startup and they need some kind of help. So these alumni help them not just providing the mentorship or something, but also kind of like seed funding, kind of another connecting with the maybe the targeted customers. So lot of help they provide. So these all these help, uh, you can say, empower these students to or give a confidence. uh, my own teaching experience to the BBA and MBA students is that lot of student has the idea, but they do not have the courage to test that idea. These ecosystem, these alumni network, and these different kind of
अरे
connections,
यार
they help them to build that confidence, which ultimately help them to try and test their idea, and ultimately they can what to say, they can find out whether the idea is working or not, that kind of thing. Then another, the psychological support. At this stage, when anyone is trying a new idea, something mental, or you can say the financial support is extremely necessary, because as a fact, entrepreneur, uh, it is said that okay, among the 100 startup, not even 10 see the light of the day after 5 years. So that kind of the failure rate is there. So those 80 to 90 who fails, so they will obviously need a lot of resilience, lot of support from the peer, lot of mental strength from their from their colleagues, from their faculty, from their family. So that kind of support is needed, which is must be provided by the ecosystem, by the universities to them. And the last is which uh, there's a last slide I am focusing on, that how what more can be done to cultivate that entrepreneurial mindset. The first one is the experiential learning. Okay, the student, the universities and the student both must focus on that. So so take a lot of assignment, take a lot of internship, entrepreneurship event, industry connect program, a lot of industry fairs, job fairs, no, not job fair, maybe where they can showcase their ideas. So that kind of connect need to be there. So those 3 years, 5 years of their journey, of their education, they must utilize, and institute must also facilitate that experiential learning. That is the one thing. Then the second thing is the ethical entrepreneurship. This is the one area which is I always focus on that. Okay, startup is good, but there should be something done which is socially responsible, sustainable, and the community engagement has to be there, because then it will be the long term. Then it will be sustainable for long term, and society and the people, the government, they will support that. And they themselves have a feeling that they are creating some good value for the entire community. And the last thing I will focus is the global perspective. Nowadays, due to the technology, the things are going very fast. Anything happens in the USA, quickly it moves to the Europe, to the Australia, to India, to other Asian countries, and to the other part of the world. So same way, anything we are developing, so the mindset of the entrepreneur, the budding entrepreneur, has to be made global. That they has to accept the cross culture thing, that any cultural happening. Suppose there is a difference between India and China, India and Thailand, India and US, India and Europe. So that way they need to develop that understanding of the different culture, because ultimately that the customer base and the future expansion has to be from other country, from other cultures. So that another important is the networking thing, the network of the global client network, from the global employees, that will help them in the resilience of that startup. And that in that case it will help them to build that for the long term, and it will be survive the bad times of, because there will be a lot of people who will be coming forward for the help. So this is from my side. Okay, so now I am stopping the my screen sharing. Any questions and any query, I'll be happy to take, if any.
Great speech, Mr. Pandit. Firstly, I would appreciate your points, especially on the sustainability part at the last. It was great.
Thank you.
I would like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box so the audience
Sure.
can straight away connect with you for any queries. Due to a lack of time, we need to proceed on with the next speaker. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. Mohsin to commence his speech and share his insights with all of us.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank SK Associates and Group for organizing this wonderful conference and bringing together a galaxy of experts to share their views on this very contemporary topic, fostering entrepreneurship among university students, the role of universities in fostering entrepreneurship. Let me just share my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
So, my presentation will include these 5 points. First, the introduction. Second, the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Third, the role of university. And fourth, strategies for fostering entrepreneurship. And the conclusion. Now, first of all, let us understand the whole context and importance of entrepreneurship. There has been a lot of research which has proved that there is a close relationship between entrepreneurship and economic development. The level of entrepreneurial activity in the country determines the level of economic development. And for economic development to happen, we require innovation. Innovation is the engine that drives economic growth and development. And entrepreneur and entrepreneurship is the vehicle which drives this engine of innovation. And ultimately, the entrepreneurship and the level of entrepreneurial activity in the economy that leads to economic growth and development, it leads to employment. And in today's scenario, employment and economic development are the two important aspects of any country, and governments all over the world are focusing on addressing these two important challenges. And these challenges can be addressed very effectively through entrepreneurship. Now, once we understand the context, now let us understand the larger entrepreneurial ecosystem. The entrepreneurial ecosystem consists of these 6 important components. The first important component is your finance. Next is culture and media. The third component is support services. The fourth component is your human capital. Fifth is the market. And sixth is the leadership and policy framework in the country. Now, when we look around all these important components of the entrepreneurship ecosystem, we understand that the component which is addressed or which is related to our universities is the human capital. It is the universities which provide the much needed human capital for fostering entrepreneurship. By making a pool of trained, qualified, competent manpower, the universities, they help in creating or fostering entrepreneurship. Now, besides providing the qualified, trained, competent manpower, Another important function which the universities undertake is that they also provide and create entrepreneurs. So that is how, in the larger entrepreneurial ecosystem, we need to understand the university ecosystem. Now, this university ecosystem consists of curriculum design, co-curricular activities, outreach programs, research, the culture, resources, infrastructure, the stakeholders, and the community in which this university operates. So these are the different components, or these are the different roles of a university. Now, how these roles can be effectively integrated to create a entrepreneurial mindset or to foster entrepreneurship in the students community. Now ultimately, here the end goal is that this university system, through this university system, we need to create awareness about entrepreneurship. So the ultimate outcomes, entrepreneurial outcomes, or the outcomes from this university ecosystem could be creating awareness about entrepreneurship. Second is developing entrepreneurial intention among the student community. The third could be creating a entrepreneurial self-efficacy among the students, developing a entrepreneurial attitude and mindset among the students, encouraging, creating, developing entrepreneurial behavior, and finally, creating entrepreneurial performance. That means the ultimate outcome would be that these students, they end up in venturing into entrepreneurship. They end up starting their own venture. Now, in order to do all these things, now what could be the strategies the universities can adopt so that these entrepreneurial outcomes can be achieved? Now, the very first thing which a university can undertake is to create a curriculum which is more entrepreneurial in nature. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to come up with a special course or program in entrepreneurship. Now, in our university, we run a MBA in innovation and entrepreneurship. Now, that is meant for those students who ultimately want to start their own enterprise, or they have their own family business and would like to, build upon their existing businesses. Now, that is only for a particular set of students who have made up their mind. Now, by developing a entrepreneurial curriculum, we mean that the concept of entrepreneurship should be incorporated in each and every course, in each and every program which is being taught in that university. The university should have a component of entrepreneurship in every program and in all courses of that particular program, so that here the students are exposed to the concept of entrepreneurship. That may be at the graduate level, undergraduate level, graduate level, or maybe at the postgraduate level. Now, second important aspect, second strategy which the university can adopt is to create entrepreneurial awareness. Now, coming out of the specialization or silos, so we have the school, maybe we have the school of engineering, school of business, school of sciences, school of economics, different schools. Now, here, each and every student in the university campus should be made aware about the concept of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial opportunities. Another important aspect here is that we need to imbibe this in the minds of the students, that this entrepreneurial orientation, entrepreneurial awareness is not only for those who would like to take on entrepreneurial careers, who would like to start their own business, or who would like to manage their family business, but even those who would like to take on corporate careers, they need to have an entrepreneurial attitude, entrepreneurial mindset, which will make them more effective in their corporate careers. So if this point is emphasized, this hesitation of the students, that why should I, even attend a entrepreneurship awareness camp or a program, or why should I study entrepreneurship, that negative connotation about entrepreneur or entrepreneurship education, entrepreneurship awareness camp, entrepreneurship awareness workshop, entrepreneurship awareness boot camp, that will help in dispelling the fear and the attitude that I don't want to become an entrepreneur. Why should I know or study about entrepreneurship? So we need to create entrepreneurship awareness among the students. The third important strategy is entrepreneurial research. Now, research is one of the major component of any university. The university should focus on entrepreneurial research. That means they should take out or carry out research in all the domains of entrepreneurship. Maybe that what are the entrepreneurial traits, what are the traits, qualities, characteristics that makes a successful entrepreneur, or vice versa. If you want to become a successful entrepreneur, what should be the traits and qualities that you should, develop? What are the entrepreneurial opportunities that are being created in the market? Now, what is the happening in digital entrepreneurship? How entrepreneurial opportunities will be created with the adoption of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other newer technologies. So here, if the university focuses on carrying out research in different domains of entrepreneurship, that may provide insight to those students who would like to take on entrepreneurship, as well as it may also help existing entrepreneurs as to understand that what could be the next opportunities that are available which they can exploit. The next is your entrepreneurial infrastructure. If you want to foster entrepreneurship, we need to create a infrastructure within the campuses. Now, that could be in form of office space, that could be in form of meeting spaces, that could be in form of labs where some sort of research may be carried out. So creating an entrepreneurial infrastructure of physical as well as a digital infrastructure. Now, you may also have a digital infrastructure. That means you have the students in the university campus. We have access to different databases, maybe industry databases, wherein they can find out what is happening in the industry, who are the vendors, who are the suppliers of a particular product. So if they need any information related to a particular sector, related to a particular industry, related to a particular supplier of a product or a service, then we have a digital infrastructure in place. They want to interact with some potential venture capitalists. They want to interact with some existing entrepreneurs to exchange their views. So a physical as well as a digital infrastructure is available, which helps the students in developing their entrepreneurial skills and acquiring more information or knowledge about entrepreneurship. Or if they want to operate their startups from the university, we have incubators, we have accelerators in the university, wherein they can experiment, wherein the university can provide them the required infrastructure. The next strategy.
Excuse me, Dr. Sheikh, we are actually running out of time. I will have to
2 minutes.
and conclude it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. The next is the entrepreneur support. Now, entrepreneur support in terms of networking, in terms of mentoring, in terms of linking or networking them with the venture capitalists, technocrats, existing entrepreneurs, and then building on linkages. So these are some of the strategies which the universities can adopt so that they can foster entrepreneurship in the universities. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Firstly, that was a great speech, Dr. Sheikh. I do appreciate your contributions, and I would like to personally request you to mail your PPT to Ms. Anjali Singh post this conference. If you can do that, please.
Sure.
So also do share your email address in the chat box. If any of our audience has any questions or seeks further information, please do not hesitate to reach out via the mail to Dr. Sheikh, as well as the other panelists. Now, as we come to the close of this remarkable conference, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you. The knowledge shared, the insights gained, and the connections made have all contributed to the success of this event. We are truly grateful for your participation. As we wrap up this conference, we kindly request all the attendees and speakers to take a moment to provide your valuable feedback and reviews on our Google Maps location. You may simply Google out for a we have, which can help us in improving your experience as an attendee or as a speaker throughout the upcoming conferences. Your inputs and thoughts are highly appreciated as they will help us improve future events and continue delivering high-quality conferences. Thank you for your participation and for being an integral part of this remarkable conference. We look forward to your reviews and hope to see you all at the last session of Conference 3.0 tomorrow at 7 p.m. again. Until we meet again, stay inspired, keep dreaming, and continue to strive for excellence. Thank you all, and farewell for now.